Hey, you. I heard you were, struggling with some zone entry.
Well, do I have the video for you?
It's this one. I nabbed a couple of clips where I was entering the zone or my opponent was entering the zone. We're gonna slow them down, break them down, and hopefully it helps you guys become better at entering the zone. My opponent's gonna start this video off because I'm a nice guy and I want to show you guys how I got wrecked. He opts for the L2 LT spin to get around me to enter the zone. It's a nice move because if you time it right, you'll avoid the hit and you can't get poke checked or stick lift from that position. So there are a number of different ways that you can enter the zone. You can be aggressive and creative like my opponent. I opt to hang around until a pass opens up, and when there's too much pressure on me, the puck carrier, I'll enter the zone and either center the pass or pass it back to the blue line. After that, it's a 2-on-1 on the goalie. He went down a little too late, giving me that one-timer, but I could have shot it as well for a decent opportunity. Up next, we have a zone entry where we see that our passing lanes are being taken away from us, so we're going to slow it down, enter the zone ourselves. We struggle a little bit when we're in his zone as we're getting stick lifted by the AI and poke checked and whatnot. So we're back in the neutral zone, hanging around the blue line. We make him chase us so that we enter the zone cleanly, breeze by him, pass it back, then pass it across where we're in the clear. We're going to speed this up a little bit because there's another zone entry just a few seconds later. In this case, he's in my zone, misses the one-timer. We make a great poke check, causing a loose puck. We skate ahead of the defender here, stick lift him, and it turns into a breakaway. Slowing this play down. This is on the power play, but he's playing pretty passively, so all of his players are ahead of me. I did have the option to pass it along the boards to get it to my player furthest up on the top left. Felt if I did that, his player, the one that's furthest back, would be able to take the puck away pretty easily, or at least lock me down and cause me too many problems. Since he is playing passively, I can just skate this one in myself. The idea was to pass it along the blue line to my other defenseman, but he ends up making me lose the puck. His AIs are having a tough time taking possession as he's trying to cherry pick a little bit, hoping that one of them gets it and he can just pass it to himself for the breakaway. When we get the puck back in the neutral zone, well, we can't enter the offensive zone, otherwise it's an offside, so we're trying to stall, wait for him to come back, and that'll usually mean skating towards the boards or skating behind the red line. And now we try to enter the zone. Since he has so many players along the blue line, the idea here is to lure him out, find an opening either on the left or on the right. Once that puck crosses the blue line, you have a lot more space to actually pass it around or get creative with things like a drop pass with a much smaller fear of an offside. And this is the kind of thing that you want to do when your opponent is playing the 1-4 trap or the 0-5 trap. Skip ahead to the other zone entry in this clip. Starts with a force pass into a loose puck, and what we do is we poke it away from him before he even picks up the puck. We switch to the player that'll put us in a better position to get the puck. We try to get ahead of him, sticking to his side, putting us in a prime position to go for the stick lift. So it's pretty difficult to get a stick lifting penalty from right there. And then we top it off with a great one-handed tuck. We just scored that third goal, and now we're entering the zone off the face-off. It's as simple as a little move like that. This play begins with a face-off tie-up so that my left winger goes in for the puck. Whenever I see my opponent switch to a defender, I know that I have to go to the opposite side, in this case the left side where the AI is, to enter the zone. The AI knows not to be aggressive when the player is the one being aggressive, usually. So that's one of the things I look out for when making zone entries. When I'm actually in his zone, I skate ahead of everyone, and I noticed he left me a one-timer wide open, but I took a little bit too long to make that pass. Entering the third period, my opponent's going to start this one with a zone entry. It took a little too long to switch to a player along the blue line, then play it too passively when sitting in the slot with my D-men. Going the other way, we pass to the man furthest up, which is another huge part of zone entry, before missing this wide open net. Whenever you're in your zone looking to break out, you should always look to make those long stretch passes. It's also why a zoomed out camera such as zone or overhead is useful, because it allows you to see more of the ice so you can see where your players are to make those passes. Passing to the man furthest up causes your opponent to have less time to set up the trap in the neutral zone. That stretch pass should beat multiple players. In this case, it beat about 3 of them, almost 4, which means there are less defenders for your offense to deal with. There are a number of ways to make these passes. You could do passes along the boards, you could do saucer passes, you could do long flips. Just a number of ways for you to get out of your zone. The next clip in the following game made me look really good as I add some more creativity to enter the zone. The rest of this clip doesn't show another zone zone entry, but it shows the constant offensive and forecheck pressure that I have on him to keep the puck in his zone. We'll cycle it around a little bit until we have a quality opportunity where we have a player on their forehand around the slot. That opportunity presents itself here as he has two men on my bottom right guy, and the guy on the top right wide open. Back to the zone entry. This play is going to start with him having the puck, skating toward the blue line, and we're going to stick lift him. When we take the puck away, we keep the puck on our backhand to protect the puck, causing any kind of stick lifts or poke checks to be a lot harder to reach. When he pressures me some more, we pass to the man furthest up. We hold LT or L2 to do a half spin, which causes him to think I'm going in one direction. Turns out I'm going the other way. Many zone entries can happen when you lose the puck in the offensive zone and the puck trickles into the neutral zone. That's really good for you if you get the puck back quickly, because your opponent's D-men are going to be playing a lot more aggressively than they should be. In a case like this, however, we're looking for a pass and there's nothing really available to us. When we enter the zone, we see all of that space to our left. There's no one around, and I like to think that our player was the closest one to the puck. So what we're going to do is pass it to the left to create an opportunity for us to get out of no man's land, as he had four players converging on the puck carrier. This is more on the awareness side so that you're not just skating into your opponent and creating an easy turnover. My opponent's going to demonstrate a dump and chase. Yeah, it didn't work. Maybe in NHL 20 it'll work. Sure, it works for some people, but you have to be really good at it. That's why I don't want to recommend it to like the vast majority of people. Going the other way, we set up some nice passes to enter his zone and create a dangerous shot attempt on top of it all. One thing I also do here is check my lines to make sure that the line that I'm using isn't tired. If it is, it's a good time to switch them. We'll pass it up to the furthest man up. In this case, it's my defenseman, Matt Dumba. We stick handle to our backhand, giving us some more space, and as three people converge on him, we pass it to the open LaFleur, who's going to enter the zone with ease. We skate toward the open ice on the left, buying us some time. A quick stick handle to the forehand and back to the backhand to try to lure a poke check, which could lead to a tripping penalty. And it's smooth sailing from there as we get a nice wide open shot at the goalie. This time we're on the penalty kill with some more creative zone entry action, as this play makes me kind of look like a god. A pass along the boards and some delicate vision control and left stick movement. These passes along the boards, they kind of make your opponent think that you're not going to be able to pick up this puck, so they're a little bit more aggressive, and then they get caught off guard when you actually do pick up the puck. At this point, I held vision control and then let go once I did my half spin. When I let go, I shift my left stick from the top right to the top left. He was able to catch up to me rather easily. If I put it back on my backhand, I would be able to protect the puck better, causing me to potentially not lose the puck. This one's a pretty simple one. He's not pressuring me as we have like a 4-on-2 developing here. I'm going to enter the zone with ease, and as I see him put pressure on the puck carrier, that's a good time for me to pass it to the right, which creates that cross-crease one-timer opportunity. A lot of these kind of zone entries, they're really reacting to what your opponent does. You always look at what he's going to do. If he's pressuring you, that's when you pass it. If he's not, that's when you can go in yourself and take a pretty decent shot in the slot. Goalie had no support on that, and it's a pretty easy goal. Another one of those cases where we lose the puck, it goes into the neutral zone. He's got two people on the forecheck chasing me, so we got to make sure to protect the puck, and once we can get that passing lane open, we're able to get the puck by them and enter the zone. This is the type of play that you guys should be doing if you're struggling to enter the zone because your opponent is trapping you pretty hard. You don't have to always be going forward, always trying to just bulldoze your way through the trap. You can come back a little bit to the center line, wait for an opportunity to present itself, and then either go toward the area of the ice where there are the least amount of players, or if he isn't budging, then go toward the AIs. When we're actually in his zone, we lure him again to the left, which causes me to make a pass across the blue line. It's a 3-on-2 this time around, and we're going to take this one patiently, which gave us many different options to take on this play. For the players that are really passive along the blue line, all you got to do is make a little move like this, undress them, break their ankles while they're being undressed. And this was really easy. All I did was skate toward the top right and held down vision control for a little bit, then let go, made him believe I was going right because of that animation, and then instead I went to the left. Similar idea here. I'm holding my puck out on the forehand, make him think I'm going to take a shot. He closes in on me, makes it a good opportunity to pass it. The last clip we have are just two nice and easy passes that we make. A slow pass that splits the two forecheckers, and then a pass along the blue line to enter the zone. He just finished his poke checking animation, so he's not going to be able to pick up this puck. And then he has two people on my middle guy, giving me the opportunity to pass to the left. Anyway, that's my video on zone entry with all the examples of how I enter the zone in the handful of games that I've played. Hopefully you guys have a better grasp on how to do it yourself now, and if you have any kind of questions, let me know in the comments below.